Hello and salute everybody. So I am grateful that you are here with me. I'm grateful that you are listening to me right now. Just the fact that we are breathing today, no matter what our circumstances, we get another chance of life. So I am super grateful that you are back with me right now. And I hope that you are as grateful as I am. So I thank you very much. So this is my third topic today. And we talked about, never paying for prayers anymore, and we talked about the most important prayer, which is one-on-one, our one-on-one prayers with God. Now we are going to talk we are going to talk about the things that we need to do when we are needing something, wanting something from God. So with that being said, welcome back to Chatting with Nicole. If you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and also please check out the rest of the videos. I thank you very much for being here. So I want us to talk about what we need to do, what we have to do when we want something from God. And again, this is again, I know it is different when the pastor is telling you this. Sometimes we get offended, sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't like it. But here, I am just talking to you. I'm not talking to you as a pastor, because I am not. I am talking to you as your sister, as your brother, right? So we are learning this together. Like I said on the other video, I am not, telling you have to do this, but I'm sharing what is helping me. Because the whole point is to share what is helping one another. Is to share each other, is to share so that we can help one another. So what I have learned is a lot of us, especially nowadays, especially our young people nowadays, especially in America, we want things easy. We are complicit right now, and we kind of, Christians, we kind of gotten lazy. We gotten lazy because it is so, when I go to Africa, I'm like, oh my God, this is we are so used to comfort. We are so used to convenience. We are so used to getting things our way. So that's what, when I say lazy, I'm not insulting anybody, myself included. We are so lazy nowadays that we don't want to put in work, but we want things right now. We want everything that we want. We want everything that we see, but we don't want to put the work in it. So that's what I'm trying to get to you, but trying to put it in a way that is not harsh or is not, but today, this life, we want what we want now, but we don't want to put the work in. We don't want to do something. We don't want to inconvenience ourselves. We just want things to just just happen. We want to get these jobs. We don't have we don't want to go to school for it. We don't want to study for it, but we want, great scores, grades. We want promotions we don't want to work for. We want children we don't want to work for. We want easy stuff. We want easy stuff all the time. And the same thing with God. We want God to do things for us. We want him to just remember that we are here. We just want him to give us things because no reason. Because we are nice. Because we look good. Because. So we want God to do things for us, but we don't want to put the work in. And it doesn't work most of the time when we don't put the work in. It doesn't happen all the time because we're not putting the work in. So that's what I want to discuss. So we can pray in one-on-one with God. We cannot pay for prayers. We can do all of this, but sometimes we have to put the work in. The work could just be, like I said, pray for yourself. It could just be that. The work could just be do something else. Even with prayers, you have to add something to it. The work could just be listen. As you're praying, listen. So I'm going to use an example for us. In John 11, Jesus was going to resurrect Lazarus. We know the famous resurrection of Lazarus. And Jesus asked them to move the stone. We know Jesus could move the stone himself. He doesn't even have to touch it. He could just move. The stone could have just poof, moved. We know he could do that. But he asked the people to move the stone. First of all, Jesus needed their faith so much, he didn't get that. So he wanted them to do something. He wanted them to be part of it. He didn't want to just poof, make it easy and just come. He wanted to teach a lesson. That's why every time we see some stories and stuff, you wonder, why did you just not give it? Why did you ask certain questions? So we have to ask, we have to put ourselves out there. It has to be a movie. When you are reading it, put yourself out there. So Jesus asked them to move the stone. Move the stone. Why? Because he wanted them to do something. They have to do their part. And when they moved the stone, after they understood that, they finally understood and moved the stone, he called Lazarus out. When Lazarus came, he still came tight. Even though, Jesus could have just said, Lazarus, come out. And he would just come out, poof, with like pants and wearing his dress, or dress, they used to wear dress back then, and wearing normal clothes. He could have done that. Jesus had power to do that. But Jesus, when he called Lazarus out, he was still tied up. Like they do the mummies. You know how they bury the mummies. He still came. I wonder how he came. I don't know how he came out, but he came out still tied up. And Jesus asked the people to loose him and let him go. Why didn't he just make him come out normal? Why did he ask them to move the stone? My understanding, he asked them to move the stone because he wanted them to do something. He wanted them to be part of it. There was a part for them to play. There was a percentage they have to do before he can do his. Another example, just talking to you now, is coming to me, is Moses. Remember when the Red Sea, when they were there, they were complaining, there's a Red Sea, behind them is Egyptians who can kill them, so they have nowhere to go. When they were complaining, long story short, God asked Moses, you, Moses, do what I'm asking you to do, and I will do the rest. Moses has to do his part, and God has to do his part. All Moses has to do is to focus. And it happened. God will do his rest. God will do the rest. So I am saying this to say that when we are just sitting and just want things to happen, poof, because we are so used to it, we are so complacent, we are so used to things happening for us, we have to change that mentality. We have to change that mentality, because right now, the understanding that I got from that scene, why Jesus made them open, move the stone, and then untie Lazarus after he done the miracle, is because he's trying to teach us that we can't always expect things to just happen. We have to be part of it. We have to do parts. We have to do something. We have to do something to help him. It's not like he can't do it. But you know how your child is asking you to give them money for shoes, but you want them to go mow the lawn, so that you want them to earn it. You know what I mean? You want them to earn it. You want them to do something so that they appreciate it more. You want them to do something so that it is not just coming to them. Because if they don't work for it, sometimes they don't take care of it. If you give them something that they didn't sweat for it, they don't take care of it. That's just, a kind of example that I'm using for you. So sometimes we all got, not sometimes, but we all got children. And God sometimes is severe with us. And sometimes, most of the time, he wants us to learn something from a circumstance, a situation. That's what it happens. So what I learned is that especially when we are waiting and waiting and waiting, and when we are praying and praying and praying, nothing is happening, God is telling us there is something else we have to do. When you are praying for your husband, some people will call like, I have a no good husband. People say that. I have useless husband. I have no good husband. And then you're complaining and you are not doing anything about it. Maybe God is telling you, even though he's no good husband, you have it. He given you a husband. Even he's no good, he's useless. You have a husband. He wants you to submit to him, because the Bible said that we need to I'm not saying be a slave to him, but submit, respect to your useless husband, no good husband anyway, and pray. And I could fix this useless husband for you. So you have to do something. You have to submit to him. You have to pray. You have to love him, regardless of how useful how unuseful he is, how useless he is. You still have to give something. You have to sacrifice and still love him and pray for him. Maybe it is your wife, this no good of wife, disrespectful wife that you complaining about her to everybody. Maybe God is just saying, love her anyway, as he ordered you to love her, and pray for her, and he can change her. He can help her change and see. Maybe it's these children that you have that you are so complaining to everybody about your children. And God is just saying, all I want you to do is to love these children and profess goodness, profess a victory, profess life, and love them and give them to me, accept them as they are, so that I can do my part. Maybe it's this job that you just hate and you're just neglecting this job, and God is just waiting for you to love this job, even though you hate it. Do it the right way. Do it as I am the one who gave it to you, and I'll give you the promotion. I'll get you out of this situation. Maybe God is just saying, give up this addiction, the drinking, the smoking, the drugs. He just said, give this up, and I will do the rest. Maybe God is just saying, you know what? You need to move out of that house. Maybe it's the same he's telling me right now. Move out of this house, move out of this city, move. Take a different step. Take your direction, change your direction, change your position, and I will do the rest. Maybe God is saying, where you are, that's not where I want you to be. And we're just refusing to listen. Maybe God is saying, confide in your pastor. Maybe God is saying, I want you to come to me and tell me my story. I want you to come pray. Maybe God is saying, you have to fast, because there are certain prayers, there's certain situation that you are going through. You have to fast for it. Maybe God is saying you need to fast for it. Because remember, there was, I think it was Mark or Luke or Matthew, one of them, when the disciples they weren't able to get rid of one of the unclean spirits in one of the fathers. His son was suffering, and the disciples were not able to get that demons out of this boy. And the father came to Jesus to try. We're going to have another conversation about that. But, Jesus, the disciples were embarrassed. So they put Jesus aside and say, how come we were not able to get this demon? And Jesus said there are certain demons, certain situations that require prayers and fasting. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to give an example, that maybe God is saying you have to fast for this situation before it can happen. Maybe God is saying you need to love so that I can love you, so I can give you this thing. Maybe this is so many circumstances. Maybe God is saying, accept what I have given you. Accept who you are. Accept your circumstances. Maybe God is saying, trust me. Put faith in me. Believe in me. Maybe God is just be obedience to me. Just listen. Maybe God is saying, just come to me as you are, and I'll do the rest. So this whole thing, it is to remind us, if you're waiting for a blessing, if you're waiting for something, because I promise you, I know that some of us are here. I was going to say most. Some of us are not getting our answers, are not getting our prayers. We are not where we're supposed to be because of lack of the 1% we're supposed to do, the 2% we are supposed to do, the 3%, the 5% we are supposed to do, and let God do the rest. We are resisting it. We are refusing to do that. Some of us know, but we are resisting, we are refusing, we are waiting and doing other things. Some of us do not know what the 2%, the 5% is that we're supposed to do for God to do the rest. But I know that there are a lot of unanswered prayers, a lot of blessings that we are sitting on that is not coming to pass because we refuse to do our 5%. We refuse to pray for what that 5% is, or to even know, because we refuse to put in the work. A lot of promotion, a lot of blessings, a lot of happiness, a lot of things, a lot of gifts, because we refuse to listen, we refuse to see it, we refuse to put in the work. So this is part of the thing. While we were talking about the prayer, it just came to me. It wasn't planned. This one wasn't planned. It really just came to me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. It was supposed to be a different video. So that means that I'm going to have a fourth topic now, because this was not planned. But it is so crucial and it's so important that we put in the work. Maybe God is saying, give your talent at church. Maybe God is saying, give your money, support this widow, support the church, do something to this orphan. Maybe God is saying, sacrifice your time, sacrifice your soap operas, sacrifice your movies, Atlanta wives, or whatever wives we have out there. Sacrifice your TV time for me. Maybe God is saying, sacrifice yourself for me, because the Bible said that we need to give our body as a living sacrifice. Living sacrifice means you sacrifice your sleep, you sacrifice your husband, you sacrifice the time with your husband, the time at work, the time for your children. You sacrifice that for God. God is saying, sacrifice your happy hour for me. Sacrifice your series for me. Sacrifice something for me. Sacrifice something. Because when it says give a living sacrifice, it means you give something that is important to you. You give your sleep, for example. You give something that is important to you. Give your time. That is what I'm talking. I'm not saying when you say give husband, I'm not saying go ahead and sacrifice, kill your husband. That's not what I mean. Give your children. No, give the time. Give that time. Sacrifice the time you would have spent with them, because I am more important than them. I am more important than things that I have given you. I am your life. I am your truth. I am your way. I am your everything. So I should be on top. I should come before anyone. So that we don't get this turned into a different topic, I just want us to remember that if you are, whatever your situation is right now, whatever you are expecting, whatever you are waiting on, whatever is going on in your life, whatever it is, whatever circumstance it is, whatever situation it is, maybe God is just telling you just to put in that 5%. So my prayer for us is to have the discernment and to have the courage, the love, and to want whatever it is we are praying for enough to give that 5% and let God do his 9%. And those of us who don't know it, my prayer for us is God to give us the discernment to know what that 5% is he's asking us to do, so that he can do his percent. But we have to remember that everything comes with hard work. I know some people are born in out of money, and then they don't have to lift a finger. They don't have to do anything. Everything just comes. We can't compare. And everybody's different. So not everybody's like that. So most of us, we have to work for it. We have to sacrifice. We have to work 10 times, 20 times, 50 times to get it. So whatever it is that is going on here, you're going through, even if you have all the money that you have, and you pray, maybe you're praying for health, because money cannot buy you health. You're praying for a husband. Money cannot, well, sometimes money might buy your husband. Money might buy your wife, but it may not be a real wife or a truthful wife anyway, let me not get there. Money could buy you a lot of things, and money could not buy you a lot of things. And only God can give you those things that money cannot buy. Even things that money can buy, sometimes only God can give you the true ones. So whatever your circumstance is, whatever your situation is, I want you to know that there is a part for you to play. If you're waiting, it's not happening, whatever it is, I want you to remember that there may be a part for you to play. So listen to the voice, the inner voice. Listen to the Holy Ghost. Listen to what you are hearing. And do your 5%. And let God do his 95% in your life. So again, I want you to share with everyone. You may not think they need it, but it may just be what they need to hear today. So share with everyone you know. Subscribe to the channel again. If you have not subscribed already, turn on the notification button and check out the rest of the videos. If you like any of this, I know this is not what you want to hear, but it is what you need to hear. This is not what I want to hear, but it is what I need to hear. So you have too many people telling you what you want to hear, and you have less people telling you what you need to hear, including myself. So I know that it's not easy things to hear, to listen, but it is things that we need. Our souls need this. Our life needs this. It is, our soul depends on these topics, these conversations. So I just ask that you share with everyone you know again, and stay safe and blessed. And I'll see you right on the next one.